Welcome to part 10 of modifying an F-86 Sabre. Now, as I mentioned before, I meant to mention before that filling that I used to fill in the flaps before I glued them together was some scrap balsa, not scrap ball, but some scrap foam that I got from some packaging computers. So that came in handy. Got that from work. And I was looking over some pictures of paint jobs again, and I'm still going to go ahead with the yellow striping, but I'm going to paint my yellow stripe on because those decals just aren't bright enough. Now, getting back to the cockpit, like I said, we were going to use construction paper and balsa. Now, I already got the pilot made glued halves glued together, and I fitted him in the cockpit, but he wasn't tall enough, so using some scrap balsa, I just made him a little taller. Add that down there. We're going to put that right here. And make sure you can see that. And now, using some construction paper. Now, you might, when you do this, always work it out first. You might go through a couple pieces or maybe 2 or 3, but work it out first. You know, what I did, I like to measure mine out and bend it accordingly, because the sides are going to glue onto here. And this little tab running down right there is where I'm going to put the instrument panel, like so. Now, that's going to sit right there, nice and neat. And we're going to glue the instrument panel in. Now, keep in mind one thing we're going to do, once we get everything set the way we want it, then we start painting. We start gluing and painting. But right now I'm just showing you what I did. Now, I did find out on the internet a cockpit of a Sabre, so this isn't going to be scale, but it's going to be close to it, just to make it look good. I don't think I'm going to be graded on scale with this plane, but it's going to look real good though. Also, with a scrap piece of clear plastic, I made a gun sight. When I paint it, I'm going to go ahead and put the lines on it, and that way it looks real good. But we're going to set that right there like so. And then for the ejection seat, using that scrap balsa, I just made a back half, put like a support in the rear. We're going to have this little piece here in the center, kind of just like a little centerpiece. Another piece of scrap balsa in the front, and like a little headrest. And we're going to set that right there, like so. Like I said, this is just a mock-up right now. We're going to glue everything in place and then paint it when the time comes. Let me make sure you can see that. There we go. And like I said, this is just a mock-up right now. I got everything the way I want it. All I have to do is just, in fact, let's go ahead and start gluing. We're going to go ahead and glue this in place. Gluing these parts on. Get some fast working CA here. I'm going to glue that centerpiece in. Just got a little bit on me. That's alright, I live. And we're going ahead and glue this other hand on. Make sure it's lined properly. Press a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put a clamp on it. I'm going to go ahead and put a clamp on it. That way it stays. I won't have to sit here holding it. There we go. drying there. Get a little time. And that's all it is. That's all that is. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and put this back cushion on. You know what? I'll move that clamp down a little bit. There we go. We're just going to put this little back piece on. All that is just like a little headrest piece. Like I said, we're going to paint that up to look like a cushion. So other than the clamp, there you have it. And this gun sight, we're just going to set that right there for now. There we go. And it's as simple as that. Very simple. And like I said, some people are going to go ahead and buy a cockpit, which is okay. I saw some nice F-86 cockpits on Hobby King and Pilots too. But this is just a cheaper way of doing it, you know, something quick and easy. It only took me, it didn't even take me a couple hours to do this. You know, and the most I spent on it was, let's see, $3.35 for the Pilot bus and 99 cents for the construction paper. So that's just a cheap way of doing things, you know, but hey, you know what? I like to use what I have in my shop. Some folks do call me a cheapskate. They even say, hey, you're so cheap that when you fart, you make a sound only dogs can hear. But you know what? Sometimes you have to be. But someone had mentioned to me about, who was that, Dave. He had mentioned about me upping the power on my ESC. Because I was going to use a 80 amp ESC in my Sabre. And after thinking about it, especially looking at the size of this, I'm going to go ahead and up it to 100 amp. I'm going to get a 100 amp ESC because I'm going to boost the battery power anyway to about 4,000. I might even go 5,000 milliamps because this is a big plane. It's going to need power. And with that 80 amp ESC, it might end up burning out on me. So I'm going to go ahead and boost the power up to that. And thanks, Dave, for your advice. Here we go. It's nice and bonded together. There we go. And now we're just going to slide the canopy on here just so that you can see what it looks like. There we go. How's that? Can you guys see it? Hold it up a little bit. That's all it is. Simple canopy. Looks good. All we got to do is just glue everything in place and paint it. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, also too, one of the things I learned with that Hawk, when you got those little spring-loaded latches that lock your canopy in place, take a strong piece of, or thick piece of plastic and heavily epoxy it in the back here. Because one of the problems I had was when that hole that the latch went through to hold the canopy in place, it kind of cracked the present plastic that's back there holding it. So strengthen that plastic with another piece of strong plastic and put heavy epoxy on it. It'll save you in the long run. So that was one. So that's it for now. When you see this again, I'm going to have it painted before I seal up the canopy. I'm going to have it all painted and ready to go. And then we're going to be getting back on the Sabre.